Good morning. I'm Raymond Hauser, author of The Winning Advantage. Tap into your richest resources, and you have some rich resources. And many times we have an opportunity that we don't take advantage of. This morning we're going to be talking about faith and instincts versus fear. It's often been said that fear knocked on faith's door, faith answered the door, but no one was there. Yes, that's really true. It's really true about Indiana Jones, that movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The man was out to save his father, but he couldn't see the path for sure. But he trusted his faith, he trusted his intuition. Intuition is a voice that talks to us from experiences that we've gathered in the past, the different challenges that we've undertaken. Well, he didn't see the path for sure, but it was all foggy, and he threw out a rock and the path was cleared. And that was the intuition that paid off in a big way, and he saved his father's life, if you'll recount that in the movie. Well, when we trust ourselves enough, then we'll come to realize that faith and intuition leads us past the edge of fear. And fear is always present, can be flirting with our good nature, with our purpose and our intention, for sure. But if you have faith, if you have the intuition from experiences, now intuition doesn't take the place of faith, and intuition is not faith. Intuition is a vision, it is a feeling, it is a reaction to circumstances of the past that led to good fortune for you. And intuition is always and should be present. It was like the young man that went out for a job, a friend of mine that told me about a job. He had two offers. They were basically the same salaries, and something within his own brain, with his own feelings, told him that one was not the one that he should take, and he did take the second one. Well, 6 months later, the first one had filed bankruptcy and laid off a lot of people, and his intuition paid off in a big way. Well, this is what we call it. Here's a very important quote by Alex Carroll. "It is faith and not reason which impels men to action. Intelligence is content to point out the road, but never drives us along it." Yes, you have the intelligence, you're well informed, you're well armed, you're ready to do service. But the motivation, the wheels are in action when you apply your intuition, your feeling within, your good knowledge that you've learned in the past. It turns into emotions. And this is what we call intuition. Now, intuition doesn't take the place or separates faith. Faith is a much deeper feeling. One of the most useful gifts given is intuition, for sure, because those are reflecting of experiences in the past. But Bill Gates often said, often you have to rely on intuition. Yes, intuition is an intelligent source gathered from past experiences. There's a different in terms for intuition, including instinct, perception, insight, and even hunch. These are intuition feelings. And when it comes to picking and developing and succeeding at an occupation, employing your intuition is extremely important. It takes an enormous sense of help to help you with your new field. Steven Spielberg was once asked by an interviewer, what is it that he would respond, or how would he respond if God asked him the question, of what did he accomplish on earth? And he said, "Thank you for listening," would be the answer to that question. What do you have that you have to say about the beauty of your experiences on earth? And he was referring to his intuition, obviously. Well, out of intuition comes faith in the future. Faith does not eliminate questions, but faith knows where to take them, Elizabeth Font once said. Well, unlike intuition, faith in yourself and faith in God is something in which you are born, and faith must be developed. It has to be developed over time, and you are not born with it, contrary to most people. And it means taking risk when you might lose a relationship that you value, and taking a risk of unforeseen circumstances. But faith in yourself overrides the feelings that we had talked about in the past on different podcasts we've had in the past about how circumstances might destroy our faith in the future and faith in the opportunities, because we have the fear of what the reaction may be. Maybe friends would react in a negative way. Maybe we'd feel bad about ourselves as human beings and function into a realistic state. Well, there's many things we can throw on ourselves to block the opportunities that faith can present. But if you let fear take over, then it will be blocking out that faith feelings. Michelangelo certainly had a lot of feelings about questioning his faith. Will the people like what I draw? Am I taking on too much of a project? Is it something that I shouldn't be doing and others will not appreciate it? Well, John D. Rockefeller once said, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. In other words, sometimes you have to give up just happiness in the short term to go for the great for the long term. And this is big time accomplishments for those that have taken on the challenges. And it's like many times what we say in the past, well, we'll remember those great things, and you write the good things that you've done, write them down that you've done, and go over those good things that you've done. And therefore, when you're challenged with fear, and maybe I can't do that job type attitude, look at the good things, make them in writing, take them down and read them often, very often, the good things about the challenge you did take on in spite of fear, in spite of the probable setbacks that never did occur. It's often been said that faith plays an enormous role in that prevention of counteracting all the tricks that fear can play on it. In other words, you have faith, then you can overrun that fear. Fear can literally paralyze you from moving, even out of the way of danger. Fear can cause you to doubt your abilities and convince you that your efforts are a waste of time. Fear can prompt you to be afraid of things that don't warrant that reaction. It's just the fear, because we want to accept ourselves, we want to believe in ourselves, and we want others to believe in us. So when we're challenged with that, and that can be looked at as a challenge, then many times it'll prohibit us from moving forward where we should be. And that is something we don't want to do to accomplish what we want to accomplish. And it's so great. And here's a good quote by Harry Frosty. Fear imprisons, faith liberates. Fear paralyzes, faith empowers. Fear disheartens, faith encourages. Fear sickens, faith heals. Fear makes useless, fear makes serviceable. And that's so very true, and that says it really all. And so that's why we focus on the faith that we have. Our intuition will tell us that we're moving in the right direction. So not only pay attention, but follow through. Don't neglect, and don't belittle intuition. When you believe in yourself, you can do anything. You can really do anything if you believe strongly in yourself. And I would be lost without my faith. I know that for sure. And sometimes I've been told that having faith has been the major overriding concept that moved them past the fear of rejection, the fear of loss, the fear of losing. And we all have that, because we'll feel bad about ourselves if we try something and lose. So we have a fear there because we'll have a non-accepted feeling about ourselves. And that's not right. Nobody wants to live with that. And many times I've heard this lady, many times we hear stories, and this lady was talking about the story that she was in the war and she saw a lot of people being killed and taken to the hospitals and never returning. And then she came home to the United States. She took care of her mother for many years until she died. And now she's taking care of nephews and nieces, taking them to school. And she said, the only reason I can do that is because I have the intuition of winning and that I have faith that I'm doing the right thing. And she is tied to her faith. Don't let anything discourage you from having faith in a project that your intuition led you to. Those are my words, the Raymond Hauser words. Yes, and here's a great quote by Jacques Cousteau. If we were logical, the future would be bleak and indeed, but we are more than logical. We are human beings, and we have faith, and we have hope. Wow. Now, here's some points you might want to write down. This is very important. Faith is God's work within us. Now, number one, trust the inner voice with which you were born. It is there to help. Yes, you were born with a certain inner voice, an intuition, an extra angel that flies on your shoulder. And that is a term of instincts. And you follow through and trust your instincts. Number two, faith requires effort. You are not born believing, but the rewards are worth the time and thought given to it. Faith is built on certain accomplishments, things you've done in the past, and it may not be related to the challenge of the future, but you're the person that accomplished those things, and so have faith in those and write those things down again. And number three, faith, if you let it, can conquer fear, and that is most important and everything of what this is about this morning. And if I may read this, faith is nothing else than trust in the divine mercy promised in Christ. Wow, that says it all, doesn't it? It's been a pleasure talking with you. And if you feel like that these are insights that would be helpful to you, pick up a copy of my book, The Winning Advantage, Tap into Your Richest Resources. And you do have rich resources. It's a matter of using them at the right time, in the right place, and with the right people. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Next week, I'm sorry. Bye. Use your talents, embrace your abilities, and pick up a copy of my book. Click the link on my website, thewinningadvantage.com, and purchase one of my books on Amazon. See you next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock.